Why are you so anxious tonight?
Oh gosh, I just walked in the door, friend.
Haunter's Toolbox question of the week.
I love it.
Which haunted attractions are inspirational for you?
Well, that's a good one for this week.
Oh man, I've got a soft spot for Hell's Gate. I just really like.
Oh, I knew I loved you.
I love the story, and just there's something going on every step of the way, and you never have to you don't have to wonder where you're at in the story. You know, of course, obviously with we doing the review stuff, we have an appreciation for those that take that extra length and to create a story around it. Humans just by nature love stories, and when you can rope that into a scary interactive experience, it's just great. So hats off to them for that.
Nora, before you answer, I just have to ask you, Tyler, is there a show that has a better story than Hell's Gate? Because if there is, I have to go.
I don't know.
What's the story at Hell's Gate?
It's you start off in the woods and you make your way to the secluded haunted house, and all the people in there are overcome with this darkness that has been unleashed by the patriarch of the house, and it's overtaking all the people and the workers, and you have to try to make your way through without succumbing
his
to it
daughters
yourself.
fell ill and passed away, so he actually does rituals and stuff to summon them back, and he opens the darkness, and the darkness takes over the mansion and those inhabiting it. So as you go through there, you have to go through the woods to actually find the mansion.
And they've got a lot of black makeup where it's becoming part of them, and as you go through the house, there's these trails of black just goo all over everything, and it's vines creeping into the house.
That's interesting, because we kind of do something like that for our haunt. Dan, do you know our story?
No, I don't.
Yeah, okay. I'll have to go into that sometime.
We can talk
We'll
about
make
it
that our news of the week next week.
Yeah,
Story hour.
It's on our website. It's on our website, but the Haunter's Toolbox question of the week.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your top 3 tools? What are your top 3 tools as a haunter? Top 3. If you only have, what would you have?
It must be obviously the impact driver, my skill saw, and what that the cordless staple gun I use quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna add a second question to this. What brand do you use? What brand?
Ryobi.
What tool brand? Ryobi. Oh my God, Troy is a
Everything's
Ryobi guy.
Everything's
Not my
Ryobi.
Troy. Not this Troy. My Troy. My
Yeah.
Troy used to be a Ryobi guy. He's a Milwaukee guy now.
This thing.
Yeah.
Oh, this thing is like a game changer.
Yeah.
No more pulling cords or airlines around the haunt. If you see something loose, you just walk up and staple it in. It's
Yeah. That's a question we should add to the rapid fire, Troy.
What's your favorite tool?
Yeah, what's your favorite tool brand?
Well, I like
Getting some heated arguments there, because there's all these, diehards out there.
Oh, for sure. And I don't know if it's our group, our Cat Haunts group, everyone's Ryobi. Everyone's get the
You're all
newest
Ryobi? Yeah.
So we're all
Yeah.
Ryobi people.
That's fun.
the road rage.
Oh.
You're gonna have to explain road rage.
This is our Barbie car races, and I feel like they used to do it in costume more. And some of us do. I did go in costume.
Oh, look,
last
there we
year,
go.
didn't I?
We're both.
Are we in that?
Yeah.
So this is just
we
our
did do it in costume.
summer fun Barbie car. You've never heard of Barbie car races?
It's an East Coast thing.
Okay.
But
See,
I
I'm a
have
West
heard
Coast,
of
I
it.
don't know these things.
Yeah, I grew up right outside of Manchester, so
This is just a way for the haunters to kind of get together
Well,
in summer.
we never get to
Manchester,
hang
England?
out because we're working. So
Right.
you know, and you know, it is fun. I don't want to make it sound like it sucks, but like,
no, we get.
There's really not much time to socialize other than like they serve us dinner before we open. But some people, like I said, we all have jobs, and some people are showing up just in time to grab food real quick and stuff their face while they're putting makeup on. So this is kind of our time to get excited for Halloween. We're dressed up, we're racing, we're getting energy out, we're crashing. It's fun, like. So it's just complete insanity.
Yeah, people find those for free on the side of the road and just snag
some people really deck theirs out. Like Jeff and Emily decked theirs out, but I would be scared because if that thing got trashed, I'd be so devastated. Like I worked so hard on this.
I'm a chicken, so I always go with one that like it's been reliable every time I've used it.
I use the pink one Eric uses. Whatever Eric uses, I'm like, I'm gonna pick that one because that means it's good.
Right.
But they like would never get in a rickety car.
These guys like go nuts. They like make jumps and stuff, like little ones.
Tom
but like
and Jacob are like danger. They like the danger. Like
and that's
Jacob,
a father-son duo.
Jacob will stand up. He'll like try to do things more dangerous. Like isn't that him right there? No, that was Will. So it's funny to watch them be nuts, and maybe that'll be us in a few years. But I don't know. That's one I like. Boys are generally more dangerous than girls with stuff like this. I can't break legs. I need to work.
Right.
So,
and it's great for the to do this because a lot of like Nikki was saying, like the actors, like people who don't come and build like we do, like they don't get to hang out, and so it's a chance for them to really come out. And we usually have a bonfire and stuff too. At the end.
We have a band too, so it's like, I don't know, it's like a little mini haunt party, and it's nice that Eric puts this on for us because he doesn't have to do that.
Right.
So now I have so many ideas for stupid fun.
Oh my god, this year Eric's thinking about getting those big like balls, like the hamster ball
We're all
things.
gonna throw up and die.
Oh, yes.
So someone's gonna have a broken neck or a concussion.
No.
All right, put down those jive hands, and it's Tuesday night, and we're ready to rock at the Haunt Tower. Brought to you tonight by Haunt Collective. Well, let's get hip to our hosts of this swinging show, Susie Fleesick. She's the cat's pajamas. And Troy Crivelone. Well, this is a family show. And Dan Doble. He enjoys strawberries and long walks by the lake. And what about tonight's guest? Well, she's a real zinger. Kit from Oak Avenue Haunt. Well, all you groovy hipsters, kick back, adjust your panties, tip your bartender, and get ready for the Haunt Hour.
Tip your bartenders and adjust your panties. Get ready for the Haunt Hour. Let's go. Welcome, everyone, to Season 4, Episode 7 of the Haunt Hour, where an hour really isn't an hour. We're talking about haunt shit. So, Troy.
So, a bit of house cleaning. We're gonna ask her this when she comes on later. But I didn't want to butcher her last name. I know that I've said her last name.
I knew it. Yep.
So it'll be
honest, I'm not gonna lie. I was waiting to see how you said it so that I wouldn't screw it up. Well, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Welcome to Haunt Hour, Season 4, Episode 7. What's new in the world with you, Troy, this week? Anything exciting?
Well, yeah, yes.
It's always exciting with Troy. Who did you piss off this week? Anybody?
Who did I piss off this week?
I didn't hear any. Nothing trickled down the pipeline with me, so I didn't hear anything exciting.
No, I was too busy to get to my keyboard. Well, I mean, I was on my keyboard plenty, but I wasn't. I didn't feel the Warriors' call this last week.
Yes. Getting old in your age.
It's
starting to slack. Getting a heart. Is that what I feel? Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah. I have been up. I have been working on stuff for East Coast for pretty much the last week and a half, trying to get ready for this. I have not this is my first time vending at a Transworld company show.
Yes.
So I had to get insurance. That was weird.
Yes.
Because I sell an event, not an item.
Yeah.
So that was a little weird. But yes, I will be a vendor there as Terror Tours. And I made a post about it a couple weeks ago, but I think that's really cool that, Transworld has their own haunt tour. And one of the things that I came up with when me and Jen were talking about how we were going to do this is that I'm having a haunt tour in the area of Philadelphia in September, and she's having a haunt tour in Philadelphia this weekend. And so it made no sense for both of us to be selling tickets at the same time to possibly the same exact haunts. And so I said, I'm going to wait until the show starts to announce my tour. And so that you can sell all the tickets you need. I will push, sales for that. I'll, push that, and that's kind of our agreement with the sponsorship thing. I mean, Terror Tours is a sponsor of the show as well. And they are a sponsor of the tours. And just, to me, just one night when I was sitting here, I was like, it kind of hit me that it's like, that's just another part of this industry that is just, it's all about the family. And it's just, I see a lot of coming together for the industry. I see haunts helping each other out. They're borrowing actors. They're taking their whole crew to go see haunts in the off season or when they're not open one night. Like Dent has their haunt industry night. It's early in October or whatever. They open like on a Thursday night, and so I see, and of course, home haunters are continuing to share everything they do. But it's just, I don't know, the community seems to be getting closer and closer, and not so, well, I'm over here and I do this and I've been doing it this long, so I'm not going to talk to you type thing. So
it also the drama and the anger fades with people. I mean, people that aren't in the industry that just were there to stir the pot, or were there for a hot minute and didn't care about who they hurt or what they said, are long gone from the industry now. So it does help. The longer you're in it, the more you tune out those people. I mean, there still are those people that are in the industry, but you end up tuning them out because you find the group of people in your niche, in your industry that you want to hang out with, and those others just kind of fade away. So,
well, and the block button has helped.
That helps too. That definitely helps too.
Back in the day, you couldn't block somebody because they were in the same room as you, at a show or whatever. Now you can block them, and then pretty much what that does is, there are people that don't like me. I know, shocker. And there are people that I don't like, and so we see each other at a show. We may say hi and move on. A lot of times, it's just we don't even know each other was there, because it doesn't need to happen. We don't care. It's I'm friends with you. You're not friends with me. We don't like each other for whatever reason. I don't have to like everybody. Not everybody has to like me. So it's
definitely true.
And I see that happening a lot more. But I also, like with Transworld this year, I made a point of not going with the people that I knew. Like I went to dinner with people I didn't even know. And Ashley was like, "Why are we going to dinner with these people?" And I was like, "Because I've never met them. I know that person, so I want to go and meet them." There was a lady on the attending East Coast group just last night that said, "I'm going for the first time, and I don't have. I'm going alone. What should I do?" And I was like, find somebody who is going to dinner and ask them where they're going to dinner. Are you going? Can I sit next to you on the bus? Just a little bit out of your comfort zone, but just be like, hey, I'm not going to hang out with my friends that I knew that are here the entire time. I want to branch out and find new people and learn about them. And so it proved very, very fruitful.
Well, that's good.
So
that's very good.
We have somebody here tonight that's helping us, but yet he left for a little bit. So Sean also wants to let you know, Dan, that your pirates are getting closer to you.
Are they? Holy shit, they are. Weird, because I didn't move them.
You didn't move them. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. And yes, it was my birthday last Friday. Thank you to everybody who said happy birthday. Dan, I think, waited until like the 23rd. I think
12:05. It's 12:05. I was online all day, and I go through and I'm like, oh, I better check my messages before I go to bed. Oh shit! I missed Troy's birthday.
Oh, Jim doesn't like me.
No surprise there.
But Patricia loves me, so that's good. That's good.
One up.
Not yeah. Bill doesn't.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. But I think in that light, I think we need to get to some news.
Some haunting news.
We have a little bit of sad haunting news, a little bit. You know,
one door closes, the other opens. Let's go.
Right. I mean, but it does say, if you read the lines, it says closing its doors permanently at its current location. Now, I have talked to Mia, and she is obviously upset. It has to do with buildings being bought and sold and not wanting, certain, businesses in there, things like that. Plans for the the building by the new owner just doesn't fit Carnage. So there has not been any discussions of what's going to happen with things yet. She's still trying to decide what to do, but she does have a certain amount of time before she has to get everything out of the building, or it becomes probably theirs. So
that's why you own your property.
Right. So
own your property.
Yeah. Mia has, she's been around for a long time in this industry. Carnage has been around for a long time. It used to be on the MHC tour every once in a while. And I have not personally been able to see it. Every time I went there, it either wasn't open or I didn't get a chance to go. So I think because the year I went, Carnage wasn't on the haunt tour. It was Hoochie. And so I didn't get a chance to see it, which is sad. But so just if she does sell stuff, we will let you know here, as well as she will let you know on Facebook as well. And we will encourage. I think Susie said that she was like, well, I might be interested in a few items.
She said it was closer than we thought it was. So
yeah, I mean, she's in.
Maybe that's where she is right now. Speaking,
she's in Western Pennsylvania, and Ohio's not that far. So
she said she had other family things that she had to attend to that she forgot about. I bet it's traveling to Carnage.
Oh yeah,
it's possible.
Yeah. So
Susie, we miss you.
Yeah.
Troy's like, I don't miss her.
I don't think I have any other news other than we have some convention news. So I was going to go on to that. If you don't have any news, Dan.
Oh yeah, what kind of convention news is it? Because we already talked about one convention.
We did. We were gonna, we could just dive right into it.
Sure. Fucking facts, I tell you.
Facts. I do it just to bug you now.
I know.
I absolutely. I have the opportunity to go see some cool haunts this weekend, and I know that there's a lot of people that are going as well. Thursday is Legends of the Fog, Markov's Haunted Forest, where I get to finally meet Rainier Pete. I have been a fan of hers for a very long time, since she was at the Haunted Garden, and she helps make all these big things. And Markov's is kind of like Overload, so I am really excited to see that. And then Laurel's House of Horror on Thursday night, and then Friday is Bates and Penhurst. So that'll be awesome. But I wanted to bring on our newest member of our crew, Mr. Christopher Presley, complete with shirt on. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey! Quick way to get canceled here on this show is you come on with no shirt.
Yeah. Well, in my house, I keep it at a nice, cool temperature. So, shirt optional.
Yeah, we know. He is in. He's going to help us moderate all of these awesome comments from people. So as he sees your awesome comments come up, he will share them on the screen and also talk to you guys as well. So because based on last week when we had a lot of comments and I missed a lot of them, and so we were like, we may need some help from a little chat.
Troy was overloaded.
I was.
Surprisingly enough, I mean, he already does way too much for this show. He couldn't keep up.
Yep.
He blamed his intros on the fact that he couldn't, keep up with all the comments.
There were comments,
roasts. That's about right.
It was a lot of roasting on me, pretty much.
Who's running the comments? I thought I was supposed to be running the comments.
Yeah, who's touching?
He did. Jim says he is. So I don't know. I don't know.
Troy, stay out of the comments.
I'm out of the comments. I'm out of the comments.
You got a guy for that.
He's absolutely been banned. So Christopher, he is in the Raleigh, North Carolina area where this event is happening at the end of May. We'll probably talk about it a little bit when it gets a little closer, but it's not just a Halloween show. So Christopher's kind of the expert on it. So take it.
Yep. So coming up at the Memorial Day weekend is Carolina Fear Fest. It's a haunt and horror convention. We're going to have a lot of guests from various shows, or not shows, but movies. People like, let's say David Arquette. He's a little bit more well known. We've also got, let's see who else we've got. Lachlan Monroe from like the Scary Movie franchise. Tom Arnold, because he was in, Freddy's Dead. And
Campbell?
Jenna Jameson. No, Nev Campbell, not. I know. But yeah, we've got a lot of different guests coming out. They also bring out, there's a hearse show where we've got some people that, doll up the hearses, and, they have them, in the venue as well. And for the life of me, I cannot remember the name of this movie, but it's the semi truck that has the clown face on it.
Twisted. Maximum Overdrive.
Yes. So the clown head that was on
the
that
video game, Troy.
What?
The video game with the clown.
I wanted to say Twisted Metal. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Twisted Metal. Yeah. So they're going to be there. The guy that basically saved that prop from the movie and restored it. This is actually going to be his last tour. After this tour with that clown face, he's not going to be doing it anymore. So he's going to be there at Carolina Fear Fest. There's also a lot of awesome vendors. A lot of haunts will show up as well to kind of advertise and show off. A lot of different scare actors are going to be there. So it's not, like Troy said, it's not just a Halloween convention. It's a Halloween and horror convention. It's a lot of fun. This is our 5th year doing it. And I've gone every single year. It's a lot of, it's a lot of fun.
And if
are there a lot of characters that show up?
What's that?
Are there a lot of characters that show up there? Haunt characters?
Like cosplayers and stuff?
Yeah. Cosplayers, scare actors, all sorts of people are going to be there.
That's cool.
And they all walk around and, get pictures taken and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
What's this, Christopher? What's that say?
That says Try Haunt Creations.
Ooh, who's that, Christopher?
I don't know, but I heard he makes a lot of really cool things. He likes the scare horns. He started to get into some creepy bears, creepy dolls. He's even made a couple of prop controllers as well.
The kind of man that plays with dolls. Got it. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, a man that plays with dolls. Exactly.
Plays with dolls.
Yep.
So,
plays with dolls.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
another way to get canceled on this show.
Play with dolls. Who hasn't played with a few dolls in their day? With the creeper truck. Ooh, Jeepers Creepers truck's gonna be there too.
Oh, yep. The Jeepers Creepers truck is gonna be there.
Cool. That's cool. So I don't see your picture on here, Christopher. So I can't pay to have my selfie with you.
No, you couldn't afford me anyway.
That's probably very true. It's probably very true. All right. Well, thank you, Christopher, for your future help in all this. And speaking of not being able to afford things.
It's the DIY of the week.
It is. Now, I may have actually shown this one before. I don't know if I have, but it is these really cool. Kit and T do Halloween are amazing. I don't believe they do Halloween anymore, which is weird because Stupid ads. I just can't win with YouTube, man. I cannot win with YouTube. I load these things up and then they go away. So he uses like a plastic.
What are we making here? Because I can't read it. What are we making?
We're making these.
Oh, like lanterns?
Yes. Ironically, I got them for super cheap from Dollar General last year, so I have a bunch of these. So because I'm making them for my pillars. So this is actually I got this video again because I need to push myself to do it when we get back from East Coast. So I need to start making props, and this is I think going to be my first one. But this video does a lot for this. He actually shows how to patina the things as well as create them. So you get kind of a build and a paint tutorial in one. So it's actually a pretty easy project. The only thing you would have to, I mean, other than that, Spirit sells these little flame things, but they also put them in their display last year, and I got 4 of them for super cheap. 4 of them. Yeah, because they're normally like $35, and they sold them as the display ones for like $10. So
yeah,
that is where I got the idea for my pillars. So.
Also, Dollar Tree for the win.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Kevin always putting in that Dollar Tree comment.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you don't go to if you're a haunter and you don't go to Dollar Tree, you're absolutely doing it wrong.
You're not a haunter.
That's very true. You are not. But you know who is a haunter?
Who?
Who's a haunter?
Who?
Kit's a
well,
haunter.
There she is.
There she is. See, she doesn't even put her last name on there.
No.
She's Kit.
No, everybody's going to say it wrong.
To educate the haunted masses,
Espada.
Bill said it was Puerto Rican.
It is.
It is Puerto Rican. Okay. How do you
say Espada?
Espada. Okay. That was what I was going to say. Or Espada.
That's not what you were going to say.
I was going to say Espada.
You have not said it once like that since the last
I have not.
3 years that we've been talking about it. Not that we talk about Kit all the time, but
we've wanted Kit on the show for several years, and I've asked her every year, and she normally says no. And this year she was like, "Fine, shut up, Troy."
I do normally say no. I don't love the video thing.
That's all good.
So, but yes, you have been a long time want on this show because you have been around this industry as an amazing, and as I put it on the post that I shared, the premier home haunter of New England. I know you get a large amount of people at your display during Halloween, but we would like to know more about where you started and all of the things that got you to where you are today. So let's start with how, your childhood of Halloween.
I think I'm one of the folks that don't really have tons of childhood memories. The Halloween stuff that stands out is my mom's sister, my aunt, who is like, you get that one person who helps you with lots of shit, right? Like not just little stuff, but like family stuff too. My mom was single, and I spent weekends with my aunt and her family. And she is a creative soul. She taught me how to sew, all the things, but she loved the scare. And I was probably 10 or 11, and she built dummies on her front stoop, on one on each side, a guy and a girl with clothes and stuffing, and made faces with nylon and cotton and string. So pulled the cotton out and sewed around to make a nose. They kind of look like potatoes, but they were fine in the dark, right? And ran heavy duty fishing line from 2 of their hands up through the window of the door. So when people came to the house, she could pull them and their hands would go up. And I mean, simple thing, right? But the amount of people who were super scared, and then the next year we didn't want to come back. And it was kind of a neat thing. She also took us every year to the haunted monastery here in Cumberland, Rhode Island. But I'll be damned if in all these years I've been haunting and in the industry to have found someone who either worked there or says, yes, I remember it. Even all the spooky world people, that place was around forever. But this place was so cool. And I remember the first room
like all that feeling you get right from that stuff. I remember flashing lights and aliens, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
But living in an apartment, and my mother has no interests. Like, she would let me put some stuff out, but it was never the same. But once we got a house, it was, I do what I want. So I think we've been in this house 17 years.
And have you done a display pretty much all of those 17 years, or when did you start doing it at the house?
The first year was pretty, maybe just a couple of decorations and stuff.
Right.
Mostly indoor, and maybe we started doing a party just for friends.
Right.
I can't remember the date of the first year that we did more. I think probably 2011, 2010, 13, right around there. I met a couple people and started with the Hangout and stuff. So I was able to, I never did YouTube. So like all those folks who were YouTube before me, who had all that learn from, I got to see afterward. I did all through Hornets Hangout and met them that way. But, like the giant clothesline, I remember for hours and hours tying knots to make a giant house-sized spider web.
Oh, yeah.
Figuring out a way to dye it to make it glow in the dark. Like it seemed like such a big deal. And now it's so strange, the evolution of when you start to make things to where you get a whole summer with my entire family. We lived in like a campground compound all summer, trailers and on the lake, all of them helping me make chicken wire bodies and fill my whole yard with, I think we made like 19 zombies with spray foam faces. I think that was right around 11 or 12. And then once you get the reaction, every time you want a bigger one.
Oh, yes.
That's it.
Yep.
That's all it takes.
It's true.
Like, what can I make next?
Something like,
how to be better than last year.
Something like this?
Yeah.
Something like that. Someone was like, oh, you did a lot of military stuff. I was like, oh, I'll make a helicopter. And someone said, you couldn't make a helicopter. And I was like, right.
Right.
Cool.
Watch me.
Yeah, it was a good time.
And how old is your son in that picture?
That is the younger one who's 14 now. I'd say he's had to be 7 or so.
Yeah,
maybe 6.
There it is. So there's it with lights and fog and
yeah. And
what was your theme for that? Like was there more military stuff in there, or was that just?
It was an alien invasion, and I designed my own alien race with toothpick teeth and spray foam faces and red and black vampire, like the old school vampire cloaks.
Right.
I had picked up from, where was it from? An alien saucer. I think Garage of Evil, actually.
Oh my gosh.
I think that,
man.
Yeah, I think that's where I had gotten that from. And that was in the front yard, and they had come out of this thing, and there was medical tents, and we used firecrackers at the end of zombie guns, decked out in military garb, and put, I think, a bunker up on the porch roof.
Okay.
Filled sandbags with foam. Has
it always been a walkthrough, or like, because I know they don't go in like buildings or anything, but it's you have a trail that goes through the yard, right?
Right. I'm pretty careful about, we can only put like, I think, fabric roofs, like tents, pop-up tents, but I wouldn't push it more than a small 10 by 10 or something, because I think then we would cross into, I do get visits from the fire department every year.
Like you call them, or they show up?
No, they show up, and they're usually really great. And they want to be sure that we're not letting people in when we're not home. Like, people can't get into the yard. I mean, anybody could get into the yard if they really try, right? But at least we close the gates, we block it off.
Right.
We have cameras, and that the extension cords are out of the way where people are going to be, like they're pretty good about paying attention to the important stuff and then letting us be.
Right. Which, I mean, I know you well enough that they don't have to worry about, those things with you anyways. I mean, you've been doing it long enough that you're like, no, there's not just cords draped over people's eyes, eye lines and stuff.
Right. No. I'm pretty cautious about any of that stuff. Anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. What else do I have? I know I have other.
I think that one pumpkin, the kind of flat looking one, that was, that was from Jay Wall's YouTube.
I was just going to say, it looks like a Jay Wall.
It is. There's one behind me. I forget which side he's on over there next to Monique.
Okay.
But I found his YouTube thing and started watching like the first 6 minutes of the 9 video or 10 video collection.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this guy has got to be. And I looked him up on Hunter's Hangout and I was like, hey, so can you just give me like the abbreviated version so I don't have to watch all your videos? And he was really great about it. And so through that is just a giant paper mache pumpkin.
Do you still have it?
No, it died. I think it was 15 years old. It didn't make it through. It was here when the fire happened. It didn't get burned, but it was gross at that point. It was, it had been repaired and fixed and filled with spray foam so many times that it was time to let it go.
Because I know you do a lot with foam.
Yeah.
Did you start with foam or did you start with paper mache?
No, styrofoam didn't seem like an option until I started fussing with it. And I think once I did and found that whomever it was that told me to go to Tractor Supply the first time, or you start picking up pieces on Marketplace. Tomorrow I'm going for 2 truckloads of 5-inch foam boards, but you just keep looking. Then people know you want it, so you get it. But
little does she know you're driving it to my house.
That's my bro. No, it's just such a neat medium because it's most of the time it's somebody's trash and making something super cool out of trash. And there are so many ways you get that photo op. With the guts is from that same helicopter year. That was like in the medical tent. You could climb into a, put your hands in there, and it was a table built just for photos. That was the toothpick-faced alien.
Oh yeah. Those are very unique aliens. I like that.
Nobody got it. Not a single soul that walked through the yard that year had any idea that was the alien race that was invading. Fine.
It just shows people will see what they want to see. You know?
I mean, they saw the blood and gore and this military stuff, and we're fine with it, right?
Right.
There was a toxic spill spot. People are entertained with it even though it doesn't exactly show a story, I guess, which is disappointing because I love the story part.
Right. I think a lot of us do that for us. Like, I mean, obviously it holds you to what you're creating,
It does help you create.
Yeah.
I am revisiting the alien stuff this year.
Oh, you're doing alien stuff this year again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I love this guy. He's so cool.
He did.
That's all foam, right?
It's all foam except for the pumpkin guts. That was cheap spider webbing and latex paint. It worked out pretty good.
I like it. And this is one of my favorite things that you built.
Well, he was a working puppet and everything.
And what did you make that for?
That was for Boston Comic-Con, I believe, initially. The kid who commissioned it runs or helps run a couple of the local conventions. And right now he does like a cosplay ultimate thing. You go 4 different states, compete for a masters type competition in Canada. Each of the winners get flown there.
See, there it is. Yeah, there's that.
That's cool.
Yeah, his eyes lit up, his mouth moved, just like the original. He's a little bit bigger than the original, but it comes apart in like 8 pieces. for travel, and
right.
It was fun to do. I had to ask help to do some of the mechanics with the puppet work. One of my friends who welded, and when it came time to paint it, I couldn't believe how much work painting was. But
right. Dan, what TV show is that from?
I have no idea. What TV show is it from?
Can't on YouTube.
Dan might be too old to try.
Is it Nickelodeon?
It is Nickelodeon.
It is, but it was the adventure show where they had to go through like a gauntlet of things, and it was
I was too old for that.
That was part of the Temple of Doom part of it, or whatever.
I do remember that. I do remember like the highlights of it.
Legends of the Hidden Temple. That's what it was.
That's what it is.
Yeah, God, that's so cool. I know. Oh, there's the pumpkin guy.
Yeah.
Dan might be too old. And I know that you are also into puppetry.
Yeah.
And so before we get back to your haunt as well, why don't you tell us how you got into making these awesome puppets?
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Well, I mean, you want to just try something. You're like, I could make that, and go for it, right? This Chris is really great about wearing the Ludo suits or anything that I make. Thank goodness, Chris is my husband. In case somebody doesn't know, Cuba Chris. Yeah. But whenever I make something, you want it to have that special, like, what makes me feel good, what drives me to make it. Or I'm also driven by someone said I couldn't, or made me feel like I might not be able to. Alf there, I made 9 hours from shit that was in my craft shop.
That's awesome.
You had that much fur just laying around in your craft shop?
You have not gotten to see my working craft shop. So yeah.
I did not. It was a work in progress when I was there.
It was definitely a work in progress then, but even more so now. I mean, now there's 5 tables in that room of working space. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Lydia. She put in many, many hours with me for some of these things. So many of those things couldn't have been done without her.
And then you just I remember when you did April O'Neil, that was like spot on. And then you've done, is that on the top left corner of the banner? Is that like Athena?
No, that was just like a Viking shoot that we did. It was trying to work with a photographer, but I mean, it was fine. It's just I'm shyer than I let on. It wasn't not my thing.
But it was your thing to come to MHC with all of those around you, and all the you were the slayer of what?
Oh, you're talking about with my cut bag of weens?
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
I gotta hear this story.
The boner collector.
Bag of weens?
Well, I mean, I don't know what's appropriate to say there. We were severed.
Oh, no, you can say whatever you want.
There's no censorship here.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, a bag of severed penises, and people were very entertained. It was a post-apocalyptic character that we made a bag of bloody dicks and had a really great time with. One of them was made from a dog toy, so it had a squeaker in it. There are so many photos of people holding it.
That is epic.
It was hilarious. It was a really good time. We had a good time.
Fucking bag of dicks.
Yeah, well, that was the post-apocalyptic character.
The boner collector.
She collected them.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know there's that picture. That was the back of them, but
oh yeah, that is the back of them.
It was you and Lydia.
Mm-hmm. And she had her gnome stick.
The gnome stick. I'm trying to find. Let's see where's. I literally typed in penis.
My favorite picture ever was with Jason Becker holding it. I think that is my all-time favorite photo of him holding one big bloody dick.
Oh yeah,
definitely my favorite.
Oh, Jason Becker.
I don't think you put too many. I don't think you put. I mean, it would be. That was my bad for not finding it early enough because I know it's. I know it's on here, but
seriously, you didn't have the bag of dicks loaded up.
I did not.
He's even like Scary Gary with them.
Oh yeah. I will try to find them as we talk about other things. Christopher, why don't you put up one of the questions while I'm looking around here for her?
Ethan says, "Oh, hey, Ethan, how's it going, buddy?" Ethan says, "Kit, what is your very favorite project that you produced as a haunter?"
Gosh. I feel like maybe finally figuring out the getting people like the right direction. I think this last year with the witch theme and like the old school Halloween feel, we figured out how to light with LEDs off of Amazon and wire them to strings of plastic pumpkins we carved all up the side of the house and stuff. I think the lights, sound, everything happening as a show for the first time, projections, it was, and SK's Witch House made this giant centerpiece. That shit was amazing.
Yes.
I'm really glad to give it a home, and I hope that I get to keep it forever and ever because he was special in my Halloween upbringing. So making sure it lives makes me happy. But
how often do you see SK and Christy? How often do you see SK and Christy? How close are you?
Enough. We're still just under 3 hours. So when we went to pick up the house, we got to hang out and have ice cream for a little bit. But life is hard, right? Like,
oh my gosh,
it's hard for me sometimes to see people who are 30 minutes away. Never mind that far.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
I wish I was closer to everybody like that because I do miss SK and Christy. They're two of my favorite all-time haunters.
Yep, and I think as I was growing up in the haunt stuff, that house, I was watching them build it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Nasty Witch came out. I think my first year, I was really comfortable at MHC, so like to have it means a lot to me. But we built a whole interior to that.
Oh, really?
So you could go in the house, and I really everybody's reaction to it, and that one we even did sight, sound, smell for the first time. I think that probably was my favorite because of the happy joy, right, of taking something and making it a little bit more. That was good stuff.
I'm still looking.
Trap says, "What's your favorite theme?"
I'm gonna have to say I really think the aliens is my favorite theme. I've been waiting to do it again. So if you ask my spouse, I've been fighting him for clowns for years.
He wants clowns, or you want clowns?
He wants it so bad. He wants it so bad. And honestly, I have like 4 bins of Jim Brown's clowns, like because I just love them. And someday I'll say yes, and it'll be a big to do. But I'm so worried we'll scare everybody off.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Halloween,
but
the clowns at Halloween.
I think the aliens is totally something about that. I don't know. I don't know if the. I think that scene at the haunted monastery, the one I remember the most, was an alien invasion.
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know many people that are super into aliens for Halloween theme. That's cool.
We're doing.
They're becoming a little bit bigger because I know Distortions just did a whole line of aliens at their aliens and dinosaurs, which is weird. But they've done aliens.
The big plan this year is we're doing a UFO crash up into the top of the house, and I'm also working on a idea for a UFO to fly off, like balanced off the top of the garage. So it looks like it's flying in the driveway, but using the vortex tunnel pointing downward. So it looks like the light that they would like suck up the cows with.
Yep.
Right.
Beam up people.
Oh,
Somehow
okay.
make the vortex come from the bottom down.
Oh.
I've been working on that. I found some different kinds of lasers and stuff, and we're going to see how it works out.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It's just going to be hard because the thing's going to be up in the air. So to have to turn the little motors on and whatnot, might not work out, but I'm excited about that.
Are you using the same aliens?
No.
No?
No, I did keep the heads. I have them in a bag somewhere, so I'm wondering if maybe they should end up in like the experiment tent or something, just for fun.
I'm a big nostalgia person, so if I had something like that, I would totally come back and bring back something somewhere, and
I still have their heads and hands. I figured there was so much work then. Like I used spray foam, and that was before, like Alan was all into it, and I was trying to figure out how to spray it with what was I using? Like spray butter over the spray foam and spoons to like sculpt it as it was hardening.
Oh wow.
Now they make better foam, like that Loctite stuff you can actually mold and whatnot, but it's not like it was then.
What are the different themes that you've done in the past? Obviously aliens.
Last year was like pumpkin witches and scarecrows, like traditional Halloween. Zombie invasion. Gosh. On the spot, I can't even recall. That's terrible.
It's hard. It's hard. I probably couldn't name all the ones that we've done.
Well, we did the cemetery.
Right.
The year before last. And that was neat, spending all kinds of time making
tombstones.
Yeah. There were some fun ones. But I don't know. You got me. I'd have to go back and look.
But do you change it up every year?
Every year.
Yeah. So then I'm sure you've hit all the genres.
Probably. And like this one, revisiting again something that I like, because at some point you have to go back, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Bill was right. The construction theme.
Oh, yeah, with the big tractor.
Yeah, I built a backhoe.
You did.
That was fun. That was actually 2020, the backhoe theme. They were digging a big hole and bumped into something haunted, and it made the backhoe a monster. But it gave us a good reason to have masks and signs and extra stuff out that year.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see.
Did you do it haunt over COVID?
Yeah, that's the one.
The construction one?
By October, we were getting close to open. And since I'm all outdoor, we had not much as far as restrictions being a private. I mean, we put signs up, asked people for spacing, asked them to wear signs, and kept people from going in too many at a time. But for the most part, it was fine. People who wanted to come had something to do. There he is. Little creeper.
Oh, that's cool.
Originally, the idea was that all the kids were going to be able to go in and take photos in it, and it was built for that. Like, it was super sturdy. But because of the rules, we couldn't do that.
Right. Yeah. So it's digging up the.
Digging up the graveyard.
Is so. That is.
So
I don't know anybody else who's built.
It takes to do that. That's freaking awesome.
Right.
That looks.
I know.
The only thing that is not styrofoam is the bucket, which was a dog food container cut up. The tires, which are actual tractor tires that I sourced off of Marketplace for free. And the front, which was a vacuform panel, the front bucket or plow or whatever
Damn, that is
Oh,
freaking awesome.
okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we put one of those spiked vacuum panel that came from Warren.
God, that's so cool. I remember that. That was. I think I
Super
actually
cool.
have. I think. Yeah. This was actually your 20.
The bulldozer did actually burn in the fire.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, we got to get to that because some people probably.
Well,
not many people know.
I mean, she could talk about it while we're watching it because this is the 2021 of the construction stuff. So, but you can talk about it while we're watching this.
Yes. So October 2020, we did all this. I had planned to build it. And just like the helicopter, I've never heard boo about what happened to it since, but the helicopter was bought by someone in Tennessee for a haunt that he planned to mount it on the ceiling somewhere. And the reason he wanted it was because it was styrofoam.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I had to plastic wrap that shit, the whole thing, take it apart. I cut the tail off and gave him instructions how to put it back on and put it on a pallet, and he shipped it. So, but I never heard, other than, yes, we got it. I never heard anything else from it. I was hoping to do the same with the backhoe. That was super.
Where did the backhoe go?
It burned in the fire.
Got it.
So in May of 2021, the neighbor behind my house had some kind of fire in their trash, which was directly behind my garage. We have a separate garage where all the Halloween stuff lives, and a 30-foot carport tent that is also back there. And the day before the fire, I had started taking on projects for the local haunt I work for, the one I made that cool pumpkin guy with the mouth guts.
Yeah.
That's Fear Town and Factory of Terror here by me.
Right.
Love those guys, do a lot of work with them. This year I actually took an hourly job with them. So now I'm working at the shop with them. But they had dropped off all the styrofoam and all the wood for an upcoming project. And the next morning, kids went to school and some kind of explosion happened in my yard. And shortly after, the whole garage was going.
Were you home?
I was home, but no one else was.
So walk us through, if you don't mind, walk us through like where you're at, what happens, and how you see it.
I was still in bed. It was like 11. My real job is bartending. Yeah. So I had worked late the night before and was still awake, but taking my time getting up, and heard an explosion, which found out afterwards it was their the propane tank for their grill. That made me get up from bed and look out the kids' bedroom, what's on that side of the house, to see that whatever it was had exploded and was on fire. Just on the back side of my fence.
Yeah.
Which then prompted me to hurriedly find some pants, get some kind of dressed, and at that time you can start to hear chaos outside. The neighbors are starting to rile because it was an explosion, like not just my house moved. I started to hear people yelling. I remember holding my cell phone, and every time I would I'm trying to put my shirt on, but I'm trying to hold my cell phone. I'm afraid to put it down because I'll forget where it is. And then not be able to contact anybody. I have this thing and I'm like, I don't know what it kept dropping on the floor. Nonsense. It's a silly thing to remember. But one of my other neighbors was banging on the front door and was like, you have to come outside. And I was like, okay. And at that point I'm trying to call Chris, and he answered, and he didn't believe me at first. And my neighbor's trying to get me away from the house. And I'm like, my garage, where is the fire? My fire department is a block away.
Yeah.
And it felt like forever. I'm like, they could walk here. Why are they taking so long?
Right.
It turned out to be a 5-alarm fire, which means 5 different fire departments.
Holy cow.
Because it was my structure. And once it hit that styrofoam that had been delivered that day, it went fast. They did a really great job saving the house. The house only caught fire a little bit, but the house behind me where it started was real bad. That's that photo that you see now of the car. That was actually, the car was on the other side of the fence. So that's where the fire started. And then consecutive explosions were the cars blowing up. There was another one in front of that too. So we lost, that tent was every costume ever there.
Oh my gosh.
All the puppets and stuff were safe in the house.
Yeah.
But, you know, years worth of spirit dumpster dive costumes were in there. You know, like things that I had kept. You know, you always like, if I ever do a clown scene, I have 3 bins of clown costumes kind of nonsense.
Right. Yeah, I've got plenty of those that I'm like,
right. Like, you put that stuff aside because you're like, when I need to build something there. The garage housed everything, all the tools. It went completely because of the styrofoam and everything that was in it. The attic of the garage housed my whole Gemi collection, which
did not survive.
No, it was interesting to find them afterwards. The only thing that survived from them was the springs that pop up in their feet when you like pop them down. It would be like the base and like the weird springs in them. That's from a neighbor's point of view. So that fence you see is my backyard and the tent. So the people I've talked to since, I'm actually still friends with a couple of the firefighters that were there that day. It was tough for them because it was pretty toxic, right? But all of the styrofoam that I had there, not just the stuff that was delivered, but my own shit, you know, the bulldozer, things that I had in process. It was a big deal. No one got hurt. They brought all my animals to me, even my, at the time, almost 20-pound stupid iguana. Firefighter comes running out in his suit and gloves and hands it to me in my tank top and shorts. Like, this thing kill me. But the neighborhood really came together cool. That photo right there is from when I snuck in the house and I wasn't supposed to.
What and why did they have to go into your house and do all that? You told me.
So that's the second floor. That is Gabriel's bedroom. Because the house is older, 1919, because there was fire in one of the walls, it is entirely possible that the fire creeps up in that blow-in insulation and goes up into the walls and the ceilings, and they have to be sure. So the second floor of the house was ripped apart. Every ceiling, every wall had some kind of rip out to it. And one of the firefighters stopped me when they were finally like wrapping up the hoses. And he's like, listen, I did the best I could. They had taken down mirrors and a couple of photos that were on the walls and thrown them between mattresses. So they really put some effort, like in the midst of panic.
Oh, that's cool. I would have never thought of something like that.
They did. So when I eventually found it, they had pulled mattresses from the rooms and they were sandwiched together with mirrors and photos in between. So that was like the fact that they even took the time to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Super cool. Like to me, I was more worried about them getting hurt. My favorite story from the fire was, I don't know if anybody knows the boner collector. Nope, that was me. The bone collector. He's like that rising head skeleton greeter spirit prop.
Yep.
He was in the front of the garage in the driveway. And I don't know whether, I think it was trying to fix him or something. So it had been out. And I think one of the firefighters said to me, I was like, thanks for saving that. He was like, that fucking thing. He's like, every time I looked, I thought it was a goddamn person.
Yeah, because at one point, didn't they ask you, like, didn't they mention about that there were bodies in your garage?
Right. But I think at that point they understood. But in the beginning, they were like, what is, like, there's so much stuff. Like, what is that?
Were there people in there?
Now, our own fire department understood. Like I said, they're really close. Right. But because when 5 alarm means other towns, so surrounding towns and cities were there, they have no idea who I am or what the house does. You know, to them it was like, what the Christ? What is wrong with these people?
Right. So, but I also found actually while we wait on
fire department showed up and wondered about the bag of dicks.
Yeah, I don't think they found out.
You were asking about or you had mentioned about dumpster diving, and that brings us to our
The Haunter's Toolbox question of the week. Am I saying it or are you saying it, Troy?
You can say it.
All right. What is your favorite dumpster, thrift, or marketplace score?
Oh, are you asking me?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
we all get to answer, but you first.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think the first time I figured out Spirit was that was an option. And that was before they were like spray painting it all orange and cutting it up.
Right.
We made, I think, five carloads that night. It was like the swinging nester. And
what year was this?
It was the first year swinging nester and the mini nester were out. I was so excited about them because they were so cute. They were like pumpkin faced, talking on a swing kind of.
Now that had to have been like 16 or 17, maybe.
If that.
Yeah.
It was early on.
Yeah.
But it was a huge, like a 30-yard roll away, full.
Yeah.
And there were so many things, and we just kept. It was the first time I actually climbed in one.
After you climbed in there and you got all those and you were super excited, did you go to any other?
Oh, we still
other locations.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like that weekend or that day, did you like? Oh, let's try this one. Let's try this one.
It took us a while to figure out like why do they show up with pods? So we have pods for all the good stuff, and then the dumpster comes after the pods. Like after a while, we had it down to a science, but now it seems like they all are very, very strict on the ruin it policy. And I understand it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Kevin, Kevin Big Saki. I like to say his name wrong, anyways.
Big Saki.
His name I'll butcher all day. I don't care. Bag Zaggy. He worked at Spirit. He was a manager there. And he said that it really depends on the manager. There's a general like rule. Close. I know. But it really is like there was a Spirit near my house in Gresham in Oregon that they would literally they laid the stuff in there. It was like they knew that somebody was going to come and get it. It was all nice. Nothing was ever spray painted or broken. But then I would go to another one down the road. Everything they would pour stuff on it. They pour paint on it.
Yeah,
that's what they did by us. They poured
this last one was covered in fog juice, and it was like my hands were soggy with it. It was awful.
Yep. I remember the fog juice here. My favorite dumpster dive was from Spirit as well, and I will always remember it because I used to have I still have a friend, Amy, who affectionately known him from my friends as my friend Amy, because that's how I would introduce her to people. We would always go dumpster diving, and like Kit, we had it down to a science of I would know because of my job being a courier. I would be able to drive by these places during the day and be like, oh, nope, it's not ready yet. So then I wouldn't go out at night. But I had them all mapped out because what's funny is after October 31st, Google is told by Spirit to remove the addresses. Like you can't type in Spirit Halloween into Google Maps. It won't show up where they are. Because they don't want people to go into the stores while they're tearing down. And it's just a little thing, but you just get the map before and the website goes down too. Like the locations part of it goes down. And so of course I just made my own map on Google. So now I know where all of them are. But we would go, systematically hit them every night. And it one night we stopped by this one, and there were 20 of the talking 5-foot skeletons. They had the mouths that moved and the eyes and everything. Yeah. Now they had broken them a lot of the mouths were broken off and some of the legs and arms. And I was like, you literally already did work for me. Like this is awesome.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. I kept those for years. They were great for Monster Mud because they were already broken. I didn't want you didn't need to see the whole body.
Yep.
I used them for everything, but all of them worked. And 20 of them, and there were, I think those were like 60 or $80 from them.
Yeah. Or more like 80.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was, I looked back in the car and I go, hey, Amy, like I couldn't talk. I was like, Amy, there are full-size skeletons just filled in this freaking dumpster. And then the next dumpster we went to was completely full of costumes.
Yeah.
Full bags of costumes. They were literally just tossed in there. So I went I think I went to a friend's house and got a bunch of boxes and totes. I went there. I grabbed I probably emptied out half of that dumpster and I threw it.
Into bins into your car.
Right. And I took the rest of them. I kept a bunch of wigs and a couple other costumes, just random things that I'd be like, oh, I could use that eventually. But I took just a lot of stuff that I was never going to use, and I brought it to a place that takes costumes to children's hospitals.
Yep.
And lets them do dress up and play. And
awesome.
So I go, I'm going to come by with some costumes. They're like, oh, okay, cool. So I pull up and I had to back in and I said, here they are. And she goes, well, we thought it was like a box. And I was like, no. And so I told her and she goes, we've been trying to get Spirit to do that for years. And Spirit says, no, we will not donate to them to you because it's not the right kind of write-off. So they said they have to trash them. And so she's like, can you tell me when you trash them? And they're like, no, because they write them off as damaged. And that's a higher amount they can get for it than donating it.
Yeah, we've gotten lucky where like they're spray painted, but only on the outside plastic bags of them.
Yeah.
Right, like the little snap bags that they come in.
Yeah.
You're like, someone, oh, good job. Thanks,
thanks guys.
Yep. Yeah. So it was Spirit dumps. Now I tried it here in Texas, in Dallas. That was fast. Like they were in the dumpster and the dumpsters were gone. Like it was, and
they plan it that way.
Right. And I think Roland told me, when I first got here, I said, I'm totally going dumpster diving. And he goes, no, you're not. And I go, yes, I am. And he goes, you won't get anything. He was absolutely right. I tried like 3 of them and they were gone. Everything was super weird. So yeah, taking pallets from dumpsters.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Pallets are the best. Dan, have you ever went dumpster diving?
I have. I've gone dumpster diving. I haven't scored what you guys have scored. I would say my best score was I ended up talking to a guy about pallets, and it turned into like where I would get my pallets every year when I did my home hunt. So I would score 30, 40 pallets, and they're all the same size, and they were practically new.
Right.
So it worked out really well for building walls and doing all that fun sort of shit. So that's my score.
Now, what did you do with the pallets afterwards?
I would put them on the curb and hit Marketplace. Actually, it was before Marketplace. I would just post it on Craigslist. Yeah, I posted on Craigslist. Free pallets. And literally a car would show up.
Oh, yeah.
A car would show up within hours. And
do you want to know why?
Why? Because you can rebuild them and sell them.
No, yes, they will rebuild them, or they'll take them right in and be sold. We found a place, and probably every city has this. You can go get free pallets from anywhere, as long as they're 4x4 pallets, the regular pallets, and they don't have extra stringers in them and things like that. You can literally, as long as majority of them are good, you can take them back to a place and they will buy them from you. Yeah, usually about $3 to $5 per.
I was going to say $2 by us.
Yeah.
It's about $2.
But if you have 40 pallets and you got them for free, you now have $80.
Yep.
And we got 2 flatbed trailers full of pallets one year for one of our haunts, and we gave almost all of them back. And we got paid for them. It was like $120, but we got them all for free in the original. The one thing they will not take is the Costco and the Walmart ones. The Walmart big, the Costco big blue ones. Walmart has a bunch
ones with like the 4x4s that are put together.
They do not want the big old Herkin ones. They just want the regular wood pallets that everybody gets. It was very interesting. But yeah, I was like, hell yeah, I want to get paid,
Hell yeah. Yeah.
And let's see. I know that we do have more pictures here. I know that you
What's
did
this?
Howard the Duck.
Oh,
This is
Howard
my
the Duck.
favorite puppet you've made. I love Howard the Duck.
He has a small audience, but
Right? Yeah. I just
he makes me happy. So
I love him. He's obviously handsy.
yeah.
Jerk.
How many puppets do you have, Kit?
12 or so. Plus, I mean, that's not counting the ones I've made for people or
Right.
Commissioned, which usually it's more like I feel like making this and somebody really wants this. That works more that way.
This is Kit's penis kraken that Patricia
That
likes
is-
a lot.
That is Phil my Kraken.
Phil my kraken. Got it.
That was a big styrofoam endeavor. The arms for that thing are tentacles. There was supposed to be 10, 8, ended up with 6, I think. And they were like 50 plus pool noodles each wrapped in shrink wrapped plastic.
I think I've got.
That was a lot of effort for. They were so hard to paint. No paint sticks to that stuff.
Right. I'm trying to find. I found that picture, but the one after it's not the rest of it. But I'm quickly looking back through.
All of the pool noodles came from. There were at the time the ocean folk or whatever put rules that you couldn't put styrofoam in the oceans anymore. So not only was there tons of dock foam available, but also pool noodles where all the oyster farms were, because they used pool noodles to kind of cordon off where each of the beds were or whatever. And oh look, Melissa Borner found the Becker picture. My favorite.
Oh yeah,
one.
I will be bringing that up.
So I went to this warehouse and the guy was like, yeah, you can take as many as you want. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. He's like, I have tons of them. And I got there and it was tons. It was like rooms of white pool noodles. And I was like, how many can I fit? I put them in the bed of the truck and kept ratchet strapping them down, like compressing them. We still have. They did. I think we survived probably a good 100 of them here.
Jennifer Luke says the pumpkins you do are amazing.
Aw. I enjoy it. I think that's what I'll stick with. The big foam carving stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are fantastic.
That's what you go back to. That's what you.
That seems to be like the thing that, for me, it's like the biggest brain tickle payoff, right?
When do you start setting up? I mean, obviously, you're building, designing, creating all year round, but
I'm building now. But I'm building, like I said, I took the job with Fairtown, so I'm doing that with them first before I start my own stuff. I want to get a couple projects done there, but usually I start right at the beginning of June. What's going on there, Troy?
I don't know. I'm going through all your pictures.
Oh.
You have a lot of pictures,
right? What is that? That's wicked.
That's your cemetery year, right?
Yeah, but it's hard for me to see because it's tiny on my tablet.
Oh yeah. It's the crypt, your big crypt, and then the grave digger and the.
Yeah, that was all the cemetery stuff.
Oh god, yeah, that thing is cool. That big old mausoleum back there.
Building the mausoleum was fun. Jay Wall came to visit, and we put that together in a couple of days, and then we put the vortex tunnel inside the crypt.
Right.
And that was a super cool effect. People really liked it. And then a reclaimed, like picked up on the side of the street bed, like a queen size bed frame that was kind of ornate. So we used the headboard and the footboard to make gates.
Oh yeah.
Worked out really well.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's the gates on it.
How much of the stuff do you save versus recycle versus get rid of after when November 1st comes?
most of it we save. I mean, I ended up with more space after the fire, but then filled it up pretty quickly. I took like anybody who donated to like some of the stuff afterward. I bought out a home haunt here in Rhode Island. The guy was going through divorce, getting rid of everything. I bought out thinking I needed like all the electrical equipment. Like, how was I going to go out and buy hundreds of extension cords again and lights and all that nonsense? So it worked out that way. And I thought I was getting all that stuff. Well, not only did I get all that stuff, but it was like 2 U-Haul trucks later worth the stuff. Like, still, I think there are still boxes I haven't made it through because there's so much stuff. I got like 4 of those. Remember the talking Christmas trees?
Yes.
Everybody hacked? Yeah.
Yep.
I wanted those for years. I'm psyched about it, but there are 4 of them, brand new in the boxes. There's some really neat stuff. There's a handmade toe pincher coffin that is all tiny wood inlay. Like,
oh, really?
Tiny. And he told me that the guy made it for himself. The guy he got it from made it for himself to be buried in.
What?
And
really?
Kids didn't bury him in it. And
oh my gosh.
So that I actually keep that on my front stoop because it's absolutely stunning.
Right.
That's really cool.
No, I try to keep everything and keep it as neat as I can so that at no point can the neighbors complain. It's hard. It's so hard because you want to keep everything.
Right.
But you can't. There's Lydia.
This was the HauntCon year that we were in New Orleans, and you guys came as the Blue Waffle Cafe, and the fact that you colored the veins and made blue waffle towels and aprons. I still have my button. I still have my blue.
I was just looking for it right now. In fact, I was just talking about this costume, the costumes that you guys put on for HauntCon last week.
It was so much fun, and
it was epic. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a costume
designed like the menus and stuff for us.
Yep.
And that was because he was one of the first in the Halloween stuff that I really got on the internet. And I was like, Hector, you don't know what a blue waffle is? You should probably Google that.
Please don't Google that, everybody. Please
don't. Troy, that was the
worst. Okay, but do it in incognito browser and do it on a device you can throw away afterwards.
Don't Google it.
Yeah, and once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it. So 2 girls, 1 cup. Let's go.
But it was.
It was. I mean, they walked in and everybody knew. And the cool thing was, there's. Yeah. I don't have the picture of it.
It was so epic.
But I have a picture of. I stood up on top of, because at the costume ball at HauntCon, it was 3 or 4 ballrooms that were just full of people, and they had upstairs that you could go up to. So I went up there and I just took a picture of everybody down on the ballroom floor of that one, and you can see them plain as day. Like, in the sea of all these people, epic. There's these 4 blue people. It was
so good.
Epic. We had a good time.
It was so cool. It's just
so good.
Broken. Oh, it's just. And now you can buy blue syrup.
Yes, you totally can. And whoever didn't stop that from happening, or was like, "Oh yeah, that looks good,"
right? It just goes on. You guys did not stop when you.
Well, it took us a long time of like trial and error, like what Gorilla Glue is gonna work, or what's gonna, like, what can we dye blue that's gonna foam and stick forever. Like, there was a lot of work into that.
Yeah,
it was so good. One of my favorite costume combinations with multiple characters.
Yeah. I mean, the shirts and it's a whole thing.
Do you still have those shirts, Kit?
Definitely. Yes, I do.
If somebody wanted to purchase one of those,
we could work it out. I'm sure we have the logo somewhere, although it might be JWoww that has them. Hector must have it somewhere.
Oh,
I'm sure we could get it.
Oh my God.
This one, I absolutely loved because you guys basically came with all of the haunt jokes. There were so many haunt jokes. You have, of course, the baby doll head with the light in it. You have the
chicken wire ghost.
Yeah, the chicken wire ghost. You have the pal with the hands, which I then stole and made the first ever Home Haunter Awards award using the hands. I took little Barbie hands just like you did and put the I don't like Mylar, but you know behind it. And what's the feet? I can't remember the feet one.
Feetloaf.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Meatloaf. That God, that got shared to my page hundreds and hundreds of times that year.
And then you've got the skeleton animals. And then the birdhouses.
The toilet paper eyes.
Oh yeah, the toilet paper eyes to put in the bushes.
Yeah, put them in the bushes.
And then the birdhouses.
Yeah, that was a haunt chat private joke.
Yeah, that's a deep inside joke.
Yeah, so that was after the fact.
Yes. But yeah, I loved all of this. Oh, and then the socks. Because Kit one time asked us years ago, why do boys only ever have one sock left, right?
No, the question was, is the sock theory true? Like, I have heard, and I'm just curious to, like, is the sock thing, like, is that a real thing? Yeah. And the hilarity that ensued 3 years later, and it still makes me smile.
It is, because one year she returned to her room, I believe it was at Transworld, but she returned to one of her rooms at one of these conventions, and it was completely covered in socks. The whole door.
They were all over the door. There's a photo somewhere of Lydia in a pile of socks. Like, what? It was. Yeah. I think it was MHC.
And that's what I love about Haunters, is that we take a joke and we never stop.
That's right. Yeah, I got manila envelopes with no return address with socks in them for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And I kept that shit forever. They're still in the envelope because that makes you happy. You know, and awesome. Open it, you're like, what is this? You're like, fucking socks.
So when just as a hint to all the people that go to conventions and stuff like that, just I wouldn't say watch what you say because we love it, but just watch what you say because it absolutely will come back to you.
Some things stick.
Yeah, some things really stick. So I think we have so she asked me to make her a video of all of her stuff, and so I asked her, I go, do you mind if I really go into the Phoenix, the fire, aspect of it? She's like, yeah, go ahead. So of course I had to overdo it,
Yes, of course.
No, it came out so cool.
It did.
You did a good job. I've shown that to so many people. My mom loves it, by the way.
Oh, good. But Kit has not yet found a phone that goes horizontal yet. We're working on that. We're going to get her one eventually.
No, see, the difference is I don't do any of this online stuff. So for me, on my phone, it looks better that way. I don't want to flip my phone.
Yeah.
You send it to someone, it comes all wonky.
So, but here's the thing for people that are making videos this year. I was a judge for the Canadian Haunters Awards this year, and one of their criteria, you get a low score if you put a video vertical like this, but you get a little bit higher score if you put things around the black area. So like I've got these spider webs over here. That actually gets you a little bit higher score.
If you take the time to
creativity.
Yes. Or if you put two different, if you put 3 of these videos, because you can, in editing programs, you can take 3 cell phone videos and put them side by, have 3 videos on the screen. So there was, as you got more creative with the video, even though it was vertical, you got a higher score up until horizontal, which was a 5, So it, but she still takes the run.
I will try and keep that in mind for this year. That's for one special video.
It's fine because what you do very good at pacing on your videos. You don't rush through it and you really take your time to look at stuff because you're proud of what you've created.
Horizontal, just saying.
Well, there are so many people that I want to share it with that can't come, right? Like you put in all this work and you want to try to make things and share it, but if you can't be there, we all know, like, it doesn't look the same. It doesn't sound the same. You can't see that stupid cauldron that I spent hours making smells like potions. And so if you take the time to at least focus on each thing, it helps a little.
Your detail is what just continually amazes me, because there are parts of this that nobody else sees except for you and like your family and stuff like that. And there's like, because there is so much to look at, and you are very immersed in what you do, that obviously, like you said, people didn't get the aliens. They just, no matter how much you tried, they didn't get it. But it's like, I know that there are things in this haunt that they absolutely missed, that you probably spent a lot of time on too. And you're like, I really wanted you to see that.
They did. You know what? Because it is so many, and we're open the whole month. So the month of October, give or take that first week, the 1st through the 5th, we are open every night from dusk till 9. And Chris or I, depending on if I'm working or not, are outside to give tours. This past year, we saw people, the low end, it was like 19 or 20. The high end was like 150, 200 on the weekends.
Wow.
So there are people who come 3 or 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
They take their kids. We have neighborhood kids now who they'll come every single day. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. And they're like, it's okay. And those people see everything. They'll come back and they'll be like, it's my 5th time through. And you know what? I saw today. And it makes it all worth it, right?
Yeah.
And that's super cool.
And this is the for those who know the history of SK Austin and the Nasty Witch, this is the house. And I remember watching the video of him making that with his son and doing the individual. He took all those individual boards, cut them up, put them on there. I mean, it is extremely detailed.
That pumpkin witch was everything I ever wanted in a prop this year. She fits this so perfectly, and I named her Gordita.
Yeah, Gordita. But I think there was somebody who actually made this again. I don't know if it was a home haunter. I thought it was somebody who had a pro haunt or something like that. And because I remember sharing it with certain people, and I was like, I know Kit has his facade. Where did this come from? And it's like a direct copy of it. And I was like, okay, we all love to copy other people, but we all put our own spin on it. This was like literally a direct copy of it. And I'm like, that's kind of rough. Like, you need to put your own spin on things for sure.
My mom she would come over more than usual. She really liked being inside the witch house, and she would sit. There was a chair in there. She'd sit in there and she'd make sure to point out all the things that she liked the most. On Halloween night, we're going to push almost 2,000 people. And on Halloween night, I had to go in there and be like, you need to stop. You cannot talk to every single person that comes in this room. You have to go. You have to look and be like, ooh, ah, and move it on. But she enjoys it too. It's nice to have her here.
Right.
Those are my mother's glasses on Gordita. But like I said, giving SK's house an actual house, and it is just a 10 by 10 pop-up tent with random stuff we picked, found, pulled from boxes and bins, and made it work.
I mean, that's what a witch hut is, though. It's just stuff that she's collected over the years, and it's just
definitely
witches never get rid of a thing.
My poor husband being like, we're out to breakfast, and I'm like, did you see that tree? Stop! I need to pick that. He'd be like, oh, okay. Lots and lots of black fabric.
Right. Let's see. I got to do this. Let's see. I know that I think that, speaking of cauldrons and fire and everything,
The old rapid fire questions of the week. That was pretty weak. I feel like the transition you could have done there, Troy, was.
I don't know what. I know. I should have done it when she was talking about the cauldron. But yeah.
That's okay. Kit, we do 5 rapid fire questions. You answer them as quick as possible. 1 sentence is fine. If you want to go into it more, you can. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. Latex or silicone?
Latex.
Oh, there we go. What is the perfect length of a haunted attraction?
Private or pro?
Pro.
40 minutes.
Okay.
Question number 3, Dan or Troy?
Troy.
There you go, Troy. That's your one for the year.
No, I have two. You have
two? All right. Congratulations.
I know.
Zombies or vampires?
Zombies.
And the last one, facade or final scare?
Facade.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, why facade versus final scare?
The final scare is always, whether it's because I've done this or whatever. If you're gonna chase me with chainless chainsaws, it's sad to know it's over.
Right.
Well said. Well said.
I did want to because I know that you said you were working at Factory of Terror, and I know that this is one of your first pieces that you've made.
That's super cool.
I know, right?
That is a work in progress, and it is for Fear Town.
And so they just basically brought you in to be their foam master.
Yeah, so they have people on staff that do other foam stuff. Well, mine is a bit more 3D. They're working on some really, really fantastic stuff for this year, and I'm excited to be part of it. But like being able to have a space, I've never been able to work indoor. I'll tell you what, being able to work indoor with no wind, not having to vacuum my grass every time I shave something, carve something, it is so nice. I mean, not that I have a ton of grass. It is mostly dirt with some grass, but like, it makes. I used to have to build a pop-up tent with screen walls and a tarp bottom to carve stuff in because as much as I am trying to save the styrofoam from being trash on the planet and making it into cool things, like just letting it be is all over the place is not the right thing. So it's not easy to contain, and being in the workspace is nice. There's no wind to contend with. I can sweep and clean and make stuff. I think it's going to turn out really neat. This thing is going to be just under 30 feet tall when it's all said and done.
That's crazy.
That is cool.
That's awesome.
I got to, as I've always said, I pander to the audience, and I'm wearing my Factory of Terror t-shirt. I have a Fear Town hoodie. We went up there a couple years ago, right after COVID. I think it was 21, I think is when we went up there. We got to, she showed us all around, and we got to tour Factory of Terror during the daytime, and that haunt is extremely well detailed. There's a lot of really cool detail in there. He turned on a bunch of the stuff and walked us around in there, and so we got to see some of it in the dark. But you could definitely tell, and I mean, you could probably say it's about a lot of haunts, but there's a lot of love in that building. There's a lot of, he definitely, you could tell the whole crew loves what they're doing in there.
They work hard, and it's nice to have my first experience with, like, while I have done some contract work and made things and sold them, what have you. It's nice to be on the inside with people that I dig, right? And I get to see them doing the day to day. It's a different experience.
One of the things, and it kind of goes to I think we asked a marketing question the other day, or one of these other last episodes. They have one of the coolest, and I don't know if they still do it, but they put up 2 billboards, and they're across town because they own Fear Town and Factory of Terror. So what they do is near the Factory of Terror building, they have a billboard that says Fear Town, way better, or it's like, way better than Factory of Terror.
Yeah, way scarier than Factory of Terror. That was the year before last.
Yeah, and so awesome. And then the other one, it's saying the other one is not good, but yet it's the same owner. So he's like, I'm not gonna lose.
It was brilliant.
It was because like people that wouldn't know, they're like, well, they're just right out in the open, just calling them out, aren't they?
That's awesome.
And they are literally so. Feartown is probably like 16 minutes from me, and Factory Terror is maybe 25 or 30 tops.
Yeah, they're only 15, 20 minutes away from each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. It was fun because I was driving by and I was like, does he know that they like, and then she told me, she goes, they're owned by the same people. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Epic. That's awesome.
It was really smart.
But yeah, if you're ever in the Rhode Island area, especially during Halloween time, there is, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, of course, Overload's up there, Fright Kingdom. You've got Legends of Fear, which is one of the best haunts up there.
Entireties of stuff within 2 hours all around us.
I mean, you've got the Conjuring stuff. You've got Lizzie Borden up there. It is, and of course Salem. And if you're really, really looking for a great time,
Plymouth Rock.
Wicked spot. You gotta go to Plymouth Rock and see
many times.
Go see the Rock. It's amazing. It's the coolest rock.
I just want to make sure everybody knows that my other favorite haunter is Bill Borner. I think he's concerned about that. He's wicked cool.
He's definitely concerned about it.
Not just making sure.
He is.
Thanks for putting it on the map.
Yep.
Right. So before we have two little quick things. Since Susie's not here, I don't really care anyways.
How many days till Halloween?
191?
191.
Oh, shit. Just shit.
Yeah.
But
a lot of time. Definitely a lot of time.
Well, it is. It really, if you use time management wisely, is a lot of time.
Most creative hearts don't know how to do that. So
nope. I wait till September and I crank out some awesome stuff.
Not even. I mean, you just keep going and going and going, and it's fucking October, and you're like, oh shit, maybe I should just finish these 6 projects.
Right. I still do. Kid, do you work better with like a deadline? Like, are you like, okay, it's the end of it's almost the end of August, it's beginning of September, I've got 5 more things to do, and you crank out awesome stuff? Or are you better with, I'm going to do this month and this, like, are you better planning it out, or you rather just crunch time go?
I will just go. Having multiple projects all the time. Not only is summer build time for Halloween stuff, but it's also convention season for like the puppets and con stuff.
Right.
My plan is before September to have a working wearable Monsters Inc. Sully done.
Ooh.
Whether or not it happens, we'll see. Haven't taken on this other job. I may have put my time into that instead. We'll see.
Right.
But it is definitely a last minute crunch time. That month of like 100-degree July, I don't think I ever stop working.
Yeah.
We hire a maid that month.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Like July, September. Yeah.
And she always puts up a picture of her that she's got the mask on for the foam work. She's got her respirator on, and she is sweating, and she's like, this is nuts. It's every year, but she's like, I love it, but I'm out here in the heat. It's carbon foam.
Worst thing ever. I hate that thing, but no.
It saves you. Absolutely.
Can't be dying of pink lung or whatever they call it.
Right. So our last little segment here before we go, and before we talked about who's coming up next, is we have a very special question that we ask all of our guests.
Kit, what does haunting mean to you?
I think aside from the scares and the public, I think in the time that I've gotten to meet people with similar interests and other creative hearts, and people who like, I don't know, are more accepting of let's make something out of nothing. The people in the industry tend to be super. I have met other people, whether it's through gaming or like the cosplay community. The people in the haunt industry are different. That's the part that I dig. All the people that I've met and the relationships that I've built, the people I look up to and get to meet, and then they're like pals, like keep in my pocket. I can hit up on Messenger whenever you need something. You know, like there are people, you could plan a trip from here all the way through to California and stop at almost every state and see someone I've met on Haunters Hangout or what have you, because this similar interest or whatever it is that brings everybody together is super cool. That's the best part.
Yep, I would have to agree.
So it's not Becker with a giant bag of dicks.
I mean, that is the best picture on the internet. Yes,
just
that is 100% my favorite picture of that year.
It's
really just
so awesome.
Makes me happy.
Yeah, Patricia wholeheartedly agrees with you about the bag of dicks. Yeah,
I knew she would. Obviously,
it's definitely awesome. Well, I think it's come to that time, hasn't it, Troy?
It has.
But before we end the show,
sadly,
what's happening next week?
Next week, set your face. No, it's not a phaser.
Set your face.
Set your face, Dan. We have a very special guest with us next week. So we have concluded our Women in Haunting weeks. We had Melissa and now Kit. I just coined that today that we did a powerful Women in Haunting week. But so we're going to pivot from that, and we're going to go out to the farthest reaches of the galaxies, and we're going to have Bartley Busey. I swear I said his name right. He's Canadian, so it's probably wrong. But he is a Star Wars Stormtrooper cosplayer and also a amazing home haunter up in Canada. So we will get to talk to him about all of those things.
Super excited.
We're going back into Star Wars, Dan, and I know you love Star Wars.
I love Star Wars. I love me some Star Wars.
He goes, when I asked him to be on the show, he goes, well, I don't like, I mean, I do Halloween stuff, but are you sure? And I was like, Dan loves Star Wars. He's like, all right, cool.
I am all about Star Wars cosplay. Let's go. We'll probably just do the whole segment on how he builds his troopers.
Oh, here's the thing. It's all AI. It's right. It's right. He's not real.
It's all AI. Yeah. That's where we're living these days.
Just wait till you see the intro.
God, I can't wait.
Oh,
honestly, I can't wait.
I went a little far on this intro.
Did you really?
Oh, I did. I did. I sat here last night and I was like, shit, I'm getting back from East Coast on Monday night. I'm not going to have time to make, because normally I take
built it now.
So I've already made the intro. It's ready to go.
God damn.
I'm a week ahead. So, yep, I'm excited.
Well,
I don't know how excited he is, but.
Well, I don't know if we can top these fantastic Women in Haunting. So, Kit, I appreciate you for coming on tonight. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us. It's all
because Troy asked enough times.
I did.
How many times did he ask?
Enough.
Oh, it's every year. Every year.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. Thanks for everybody for watching.
Yes,
Troy, thanks for screwing everything up.
Hey.
And Susie, I'm so sorry you didn't make it. Till next time, Tuesday, 8:00. We'll see you guys. Oops. Oh, I gotta get to my screen here before I send off here. Oh wow, I just fucked that up. All right, here we go. Till next week. We'll see you guys later. Have a great evening.